Apparently, conservatives are trying to own the libs by eating lots of beans. Well, I guess, I would feel pretty owned if I were standing next to them after eating all those beans. Well, whatever. That's not what I mean. Ivanka Trump decided that she would join in the fun with other conservatives who are buying up Goya brand beans. And so she posted a picture of herself on social media, like so. Boy, that almost looks like an advertisement that you would see on a billboard. If it's Goya, it has to be good. I don't know about that one. So now look, this is in response to Goya Food CEO Robert Unanue recently sparking outrage by praising Donald Trump at the White House. In fact, he'd been invited to the White House to promote Hispanic businesses and said, "It gives me great honor. We're truly blessed at the same time to have a leader like President Trump, who is a builder." And says that we pray for our leadership, our president, and we pray for our country that we will continue to prosper and to grow. Look, Donald Trump, a builder? Are you kidding me? No. People pay him not to build buildings, right? A lot of where Donald Trump gets his money is from licensing out his name to buildings that already exist. Donald Trump hasn't built anything in decades because the things that he has built have gone bankrupt. The man has gone bankrupt 6 times. Right. He's got like the Midas touch, except that everything he touches turns to crap. Almost in a literal sense. But okay. So now, following that, there's some well-intentioned liberals that recently launched a boycott of Goya. So, look, in reality, it's a fairly small number of people, but just hearing some people on social media boycotting Goya beans, that immediately activates the brain trust at Fox News and all the conservative outlets that are like, "Oh my God, can you believe the liberals are boycotting a Hispanic business? Ooh, oh, we got to get on that. Ooh, call out that liberal hypocrisy right now." And so, well, that's exactly what they did. So now the thinking goes that if you're basically endorsing Trump and saying, and that's what a lot of people took it as, it's like, oh, wow, our president, wow, what a builder, what a great person. Well, if you're endorsing him, then you're endorsing his ideas, right? His ideas being building a wall and making Mexico pay for it, family separation at the border, in case anybody had forgotten that we're locking up children in cages, and also insinuating that all Mexicans, or at least most of them, are rapists that are bringing crime into America and drugs. Although some, we assume, are good people, right? So that message doesn't exactly sit well with people. That endorsement doesn't sit well with some people. And so they decided that they were going to vote with their wallets, which is a actually perfectly reasonable thing to do. If you don't want to buy the beans, then don't buy the beans. Pretty simple, right? And so people have the right to consume or buy the things that they want or not buy the things that they don't want if they don't happen to agree with the politics of the owner. That's fine. So I said reasonable, right? Now, that doesn't mean that this is all effective, whatever, right? But it's basically nothing more than being able to take your own personal principled stance. And that, of course, is freedom. Now, the owner of Goya, the CEO, I should say, doesn't agree. He thinks that it's a suppression of free speech. Take a look.
Hey, Bob, are you getting a boycott? That's what I've heard, because you had the audacity to show up at the president's invitation and say some positive things about him.
Brian, yes. It's suppression of speech. In 2012, 8 years ago, I was called by Michelle Obama to Tampa, and they were mentioning to launch a My Plate thing, which we put on. It's putting the nutritional pyramid into a plate of portion control. They wanted to approach the African American community, the Hispanic community, to eat more nutritionally. So they called on us as the most recognized Hispanic brand in the United States, and I went. I went to the White House later, and I introduced in Hispanic Heritage Month, President Obama. And so you're allowed to talk good or to praise one president, but you're allowed, when I was called to be part of this commission to aid in economic and educational prosperity, and you make a positive comment, all of a sudden that's not acceptable. So, you know, I'm not apologizing for saying, and especially if you're called by the President of the United States, you're going to say, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy, no thank you. I didn't say that to the Obamas, and I didn't say that to President Trump.
All right, so there's a cardinal mistake this man made, right? Basically saying that, well, I mean, look, Donald Trump's president, and Obama was the president. You're going to turn down the president, right? Well, it depends, right? Donald Trump isn't exactly a normal president. He's openly racist, openly xenophobic, openly sexist. All of this, you know, negative stuff, said a lot of horrible things, and also has mismanaged this country into having the most coronavirus-related deaths and infections than the entire freaking world. He's a train wreck and a disaster. Are you really going to tie yourself to that? You would have gotten a lot more respect had you said, actually, no, I disagree with your stance on just about everything. Goya is going to take a principled stand here and say, no, we don't agree with you. Yes, you know, we like Hispanic businesses. We're a Hispanic business. And we are interested in helping other Hispanic businesses. But we can't do it when there's somebody who thinks our culture and is allied with people who thinks that our culture is peasant culture, who thinks that our culture is inferior to the United States, and thinks that a lot of us are lazy and illegal and unmotivated and criminals and MS-13. We're not that. We're not that. And so, no, we're not going to ally ourselves with the president. So, no, I'm not going to take your freaking call. I'm going to hang up on you, and I'm going to say, I don't agree with this guy whatsoever. We are a proud Hispanic brand, and we're going to stand by not only our people, but the majority of the American people who don't agree with this racism. That's all I'm saying. Maybe he would have went with that and wouldn't have actually got his ass canceled. But look, I get it, right? From his position, he's like, what? I'm just trying to do something good, right? And meeting with the president, I mean, I met with Obama, so this is fine, right? But look, he doesn't like being boycotted against, and I understand that, right? Sure. But let me make things very clear. A boycott is not a suppression of your free speech. You can say whatever the hell you want. You can meet with Donald Trump as much as you want. You can go and say all the nicest things about him, right? And as a result, the free market can decide if it wants to cancel your ass. That is freedom. That is freedom of speech. That's what libertarians call the hand of the free market. If there's a company that does not represent your values, then you don't have to support that company. This is why I'm also in favor of BDS, at least when it comes to the goals of the BDS, right? To say that we don't support Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories and the treatment of Palestinian people in that territory. We don't agree with the illegal annexation of Palestinian land and the illegal building of settlements. And so what we're going to do is we're going to vote with our wallets to say that we don't agree with that. And so, of course, that's super, super controversial. Oh my God, how dare you try to, boycott BDS, or I'm sorry, boycott Israel and Israeli-made goods? Well, you must be an anti-Semite. Well, using that logic, if you boycott Goya beans, well, then you must be anti-Hispanic. No. So I'm saying that boycotts are free speech, and they are. Look, I'm perfectly fine with every Trump supporter that has decided to. How many things have they boycotted? They boycotted Nike. They boycotted what is it? Some brand of sports cooler. that they, set on fire. I mean, how many times have you seen MAGA guys burn their sneakers or anything that is even remotely liberal? So, don't try to come at me with that, like, that bullshit. Like, oh my God, hypocrisy. No, dude. Conservatives, nothing more than a good old fashioned boycott where they either shoot something, burn something, or throw it away. Ridiculous, right? So that said, getting back to the free speech part, I wonder when Dave Rubin's going to drop by and be like, I support free speech. Yeah, we'll see what happens. For me, look, are you saying that we should be forced to buy products from companies we don't agree with? Because that would be totalitarianism. Just saying. But of course, the right wing loves that stuff. And so that goes right back to the Trump family, by the way, which cannot manage to not do something completely corrupt for like 5 minutes. I mean, Ivanka Trump is literally advertising for this company, which is a violation of ethics laws. The Hatch Act, specifically. As a lot of journalists have pointed out, Rebecca Bauhaus says federal officials are barred from using their office for the endorsement of any product, service, or enterprise. In 2017, Kellyanne Conway was counseled by the White House for promoting Ivanka Trump's fashion line during a live TV appearance from the briefing room. Sunny Hostin, co-host of The View, adds this: has your account been hacked, Ivanka? I sure hope so, because as a White House official, senior advisor, and all that, surely you know this is a federal ethics violation. I love how she's trying to help her out. Like, oh no, Ivanka, you got to say that you were hacked, or else you might get into a little bit of trouble. In reality, of course, is Ivanka Trump going to get in trouble? No, of course not. No, she's never going to get in trouble just because there are laws. Now, remember, who's running the country? Donald Trump. Donald Trump's not going to punish Ivanka Trump for anything. And so, unfortunately, that's never going to stick. But at the same time, what are you going to do? Other than make fun of her on social media, which, of course, a lot of people did. A couple of responses here. There's exactly zero chance that Donald Trump or Ivanka has ever stopped themselves as they approached the supermarket checkout and thought, oh, whoops, almost forgot the Goya beans. Are you kidding? You think Donald Trump or Ivanka Trump would ever step foot in a grocery store? If you do, hilarious. The president of the United States, remember, still thinks that you need ID to buy groceries. I mean, maybe if you're buying boxed wine like a Karen, sure. But for beans, no. No ID required. One more here from Benjamin Applebaum, who said, wow, it only took a day for Ivanka to reskill and find a new job. If you're unhappy or you're unemployed, find something new. That's Ivanka's advice from yesterday. So there you go. Let's hope that come November, she will end up in her new job as a full spokeswoman for Goya and nowhere near the White House. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.